that guides us through thrills and adventures.
Cracked windshield on your new car? You don't have to take it to the dealer. Bring it to Safelight. We do more replacements and recalibrations than anyone else. Schedule now.
Safelight Repair, Safelight Replace.
Dad, would you rather time travel to the past?
Live next on TBS.
Have fun, sis.
What's
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart. Get the bed.
No, I'm gonna have to turn this down.
When you order Domino's online, we'll give you a free pizza to use for a future pizza emergency.
Oh, sorry.
Well, my pleasure. Nice to meet you. Q, I want you to take a look at the guy's phone.
And then you have someone else's supposed to listen it. And we wouldn't even know.
Let me know if the sound is too loud.
I'll take it. Ignore the fine print. Good morning. We all were until we fell into that house sick trap. That's the one for this.
We'll figure it out. I love it. I love it. I don't know if we can hear. I'm not sure. I might have to turn the sound down. Was that Spurg? Was that sound too much? Because I don't think we can hear commercials. I might get kicked off if they play like music or something. So let me turn the sound down, and then I can. Well, I'm not going to be able to. Well, yeah, because I have the pause right now. But like that. Let me see. That's too loud. Let me see. I got a new TV. Oh, thank you, Ben Jones. It's not even a special, really. To be honest with you. Well, we'll see how this goes. I just don't want to get dinged for. Okay, good. Well, if it gets annoying, just let me know, and I'll turn the TV off, I guess, or not turn the TV off, but turn the volume down. All right. Well, I think we have what time is it? 4:59. We have one more minute. So it's going to be, and thank you guys for listening to it's not necessarily a special. It's more of a prequel to a special. For those of you just getting here, I put out a 45-minute set of mine at the Comedy Store. One camera, no audience mics. And, hopefully you dig it. If you can share and retweet it, I hate asking, but that's just the way the business is. I don't want to say unfortunately, but what up, William Zoom? Thank you for watching, Ben. But, that's why Matt Rife got so big. His fans loved him. So, yeah, I would love to do that. I mean, I'm a little sad that I was beaten to the punch on the documentary because I really, the Eddie Nash world is still prevalent to me because, when I walk Lois down Beverly Boulevard, not Beverly Drive, which is in West Hollywood. No, Beverly Hills. Beverly Drive is in Beverly Hills. I walked by where the Odyssey was. I walked by the Starwood, which is on Santa Monica Boulevard. So, but if you're going to get beat out on a documentary about Eddie Nash, Michael Connolly is the guy to get beat out on. He'll do an amazing job. Let's see here. I think Dynamite's about to start. Here we go. Let me know if that's too loud for you guys. Oh, we have a plug already for Ric Flair Energy. Oh, thank you. That helps. I mean, I'm not very active on that, but hey, any eyes on it is. It's like that commercial that used to play in the 80s, the shampoo commercial. You tell two people, they tell two people, and then that's four people. So we got the opening shot of Taz, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone. Let me know if that's too loud, and I'll just turn the volume down. They're going over the Continental Classic tournament rules. 20-minute time limit, 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw. Everyone is banned from ringside. Twitter and Instagram, I think, are the best places to plug it. But Facebook is cool too. TikTok, it's too long to post on there. Probably someone said if I put it up on Spotify, that'll actually help get me paid. Tonight we have John Moxley against Mark Briscoe. That should be fun. Swerve Strickland against Jay Lethal. So going right into the Continental Classic. Chicago, Illinois. Is that noise, is the TV noise too distracting for you guys? Let me know. Very well, he can wrestle after Saturdays. I think he has a black eye. Oh, you can hear the TV. Good. If I'm looking over there, I'm not, because I'm not paying attention. I'm just I gotta look to see what's happening on the screen. I don't think I'm legally allowed to show the screen. So we'll see. I mean, we'll do this, and if the channel gets struck, we just won't do it again. It's hard to figure out what you get struck for on YouTube. And here comes Jay Lethal. One of my favorites. It's weird to see him come out with none of the posse. He is the first Ring of Honor Grand Slam champion. Yeah. So I'll fast forward I'll fast forward through the commercials. I'm still a baby when it comes to this stuff. So this should be a very good match. I mean, both guys are great technical wrestlers. Seems to be a hot crowd. I don't know what stadium they're in or arena. By the way, I paid for this AEW. I bought this at Full Gear. And I also bought these Sting gloves.
tournament structure. That means that it's not a knockout tournament. You know, like
Match. Swerve has his right shoulder taped up. Jay Lethal playing to the crowd a little bit. Aubrey Edwards is the referee. Crowd's pretty hot for Swerve. It's AEW Dynamite. I don't know who's on the card, to be honest with you. Right now we have Jay Lethal and Swerve Strickland on the Continental Classic, the first match. I know Christian is in an angle with Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne. They're renaming him or something. Renaming them. Will be interesting to see how they try and rebrand Christian after losing. But that was a humor match. So, I don't think Christian lost much steam. He's still the number one heel, I think, in AEW. Lambda, Lambda, Lambda in the house. And Jay Lethal mugging to the camera. Giving the crowd the bird. They're doing a little in-program commercial for Fight Forever. Season Pass 2 is available. I'm not sure what that means. I played Fight Forever. I got to be honest with you. It wasn't very good, to be frank. I mean, it's very arcade-style graphics. That's WWE more realistic. Like, I think you guys know that someone made a character of me to tag team with Sting against Kamala and Warrior in WWE, and it looks completely real. Like, if you see it, you feel like I'm an actual wrestler in the WWE. They've got the visor on. They've got the, I think, a Kiss t-shirt, the shorts I usually wear. It's the real deal. So, AEW. I will say, though, I did play, what did I do? Kenny Omega against John Moxley in the exploding barbed wire match. That's pretty fun. I'll give him that. It's a little graphic, though. I mean, if you touch the ropes, you basically hamming it up. It's a kind of an interesting matchup. You've got Swerve's like really over right now, but he's a heel. And Jay Lethal, he is kind of like he's kind of a jobber now, which sucks because he's really good, but he's like the goofy heel. Like, the crowd likes him. Boy, they're really pumping that Woo energy drink. I just have trouble wanting to buy a energy drink that Ric Flair is promoting. I know. They're doing another commercial for All in London 2. Very good match. I mean, Swerve's got to be sore from that match Saturday. And Jay Lethal had a pretty tough match with Eddie Kingston. It's not like he's completely fresh. And it's funny to look at Swerve, he was bleeding quite nicely Saturday, and he looks great. Giving him a shoulder breaker. Good match. I mean, you know Swerve Strickland's going to win. And like I said, I feel bad for Jay Lethal because he's really good in the ring. But, you know, someone's got to lose. They all can't win. We got a little picture-in-picture commercial. Doing a little collision commercial. Bryan Danielson will be making his return in this Continental Classic tournament, and I believe the finale is at the pay-per-view in Long Island at end of December. So that should be interesting. I'm sure MJF will have a prominent role in that pay-per-view. Not in the Continental Classic because he's not in it. Will be interesting to see who they have win it, who the finale will be. I mean, I'll guess. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing a Swerve Jay White matchup. So we got a commercial playing now for I don't know, something for psoriasis or something. Who knows? Satiktu. Now we got another. I don't like when they do these picture-in-picture commercials because the theory is they want you to still be able to watch the wrestling, but the commercial is so freaking distracting that it's hard to watch. And now there's a lot of commercials with music, so hopefully I don't get this stream taken down. We might not be able to do a full Dynamite live watch because there's just too much music. So this might have been a good idea in theory, but maybe not a great idea in practicality. But I do appreciate you guys watching. Well, I'll let the yeah, but I don't know. I mean, you know, we'll see. I mean, this I hate these. All right, here we go. Back to the action here. This is it's typical Earl production, low quality but high value. So I figured this match would go about 12 minutes. I think the Christian. I don't think Christian's wrestling. They're just in that segments. Construction. That is true, William. And they're over there right now. That's the crazy thing. I think she found all workers, so we're getting for a top rope spot here. I think Swerve is setting Jay Lethal up for he's got a double wrist lock on the top, a suplex, and he did. I should be a color commentator on this. And that's got to hurt a little bit. I was playing in a hockey tournament once in Vegas. And they had a wrestling ring for school. So in between hockey games, I would fuck around in the wrestling ring. And that ring, which looked like to be a typical wrestling ring, it was pretty hard. Like, I can't imagine. And I don't mean the cocaina, but a bump, like what Jay Lethal just took. So, very good match. Swerve just landed the flatliner on Lethal. a brain buster. You could tell that they've gotten in the referee's ear and said, all right, time to go home, which in the wrestling parlance is let's wrap it up. Uh-oh. He's doing, a small package by Jay Lethal. If Dante Comic was manager at AEW, who would he manage? Probably the Butcher and the Blade, probably when they're the best tag team in the world. Peter Brennan in the house. Thank you always. Peter, I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not. You seem like the type that you got your fingers in the air. You know which way the wind is blowing. I put up a 45-minute set on YouTube from the Comedy Store today. I would be humbled and honored if a member of the Brennan family retweeted that. Dante only manages people who don't work anymore. I mean, you literally have working actors who go sign with him, and they're working. Like the one girl from Sons of Anarchy. I don't think she's been in anything since. This is a very good match. I mean, Jay Lethal can go. He was. Here's the crazy thing, from what I remember, is Dante actually fired Stuttering John. That's for Dante to fire someone who was actually not famous but known. It's pretty impressive. He could sell used cars. If you really want to know what Dante's like, watch Kurt Russell in used cars. Hustler. Lethal going for the lethal injection. Swerve kicked his left knee. A kick to the head. Here we go. The swerve stomp. Swerve Strickland defeats Jay Lethal. That match was about, that's pretty long actually, about 16 minutes, 17 minutes. A little longer than I thought. But Swerve is hot right now. His stock really shot up after Saturday for sure. Now another Continental Classic match tonight is the Roosh against Jay White. So look out for that. Now we have a promo with Renee Paquette. And it's Renee Paquette with Orange Cassidy, Hook, and an Asian guy whose name I forget. Now Wheeler Yuta is interrupting.
I just couldn't wait to congratulate you on your big victory. I mean, it took what, 17?
I know this stream probably is boring to you guys because you're watching me watch TV and comment back on it. So Shibata. Shibata is one of the greats. Oh. Plugging Shibata's Ring of Honor midnight. Yes, the pores. This is the cheapest podcast option for the pores. I think Orange Cassidy has a Will Ospreay shirt on. That's interesting. Here comes MJF. They're not messing around tonight. Here comes Adam Cole. I guess they're back. Okay. I mean, you are right, William. Of course, they have a new shirt they're wearing. Maxwell Jacob Freeman is still selling the left knee injury. I know I did see some hot chick does an 8-hour stream at night where people just watch her sleep. And she makes like money off of it. Like, that's crazy when you think about it. Uh-oh, I'm getting a text. Let's see what that's about. Breaking news. Axl Rose is being accused of sexual assault in 1989. There you go. I know. Can you imagine what a stream would be of me just sleeping? What if that was the way I made millions? I mean, it is crazy. Like, I'm really proud of the YouTube stream or the YouTube clip I put up on my comedy. 45 minutes. I'm not killing the whole time, but, you know, I think it's a frustrating thing to see some of the viral videos that are just like, really? Crowd's hot for MJF.
In case you guys think my voice sounds a little bit hoarse, that's because last night I was chugging a whole lot of brews down on Rush Street, okay? So bear with me.
He's kissing ass with the locals.
Ladies and gentlemen, and I do mainly mean ladies because we got some girls in here I'd really like to get deep with.
Oh, thank you, Rebel. He's doing some jokes. You know, it's not a full special. It's more of a prequel special. You know, I just really wanted to get something out there so people could, you know, who aren't in LA could say, okay, this is what the Comedy Store is like. I know. It's just funny to me that, like, as soon as I get called to the stage by Benji, literally 20 people get up and left. And not because of Benji, just, you know, people are tired. Now, I'm assuming someone is going to walk out and interrupt MJF. MJF looking very jacked.
Sometimes I can be a little bit too humble.
I don't like him as a face. I like him better as a heel. Oh, that was my friend Katie. She's a young comic. I think she was drunk. But that's fine. She didn't mean anything by it.
Possible without my real chop show for life.
What's the difference, Spurg? See, this is how new I am.
Mr. Cole, I believe that
what's the difference? It's live chat and top the same.
Who's ready for story time with Adam Cole?
See, you learn something new every day from the fans.
Listen, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. It's great to be back here in Chicago.
I don't think so. She was not on the float parade.
It's also great that me and my good friend Max are still your Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, baby. With a little bit of help from Samoa Joe as well.
Oh, I thought I was seeing all the
With
messages.
the good news, also, again, comes the bad news. And guys,
But that's all right.
you know my ankle, it's in real bad shape. I'm not even close to being able to walk.
I see some pimples on
So I've got a long road ahead.
MJF's shoulder right there. That is the. I don't want to accuse anyone of anything, but that's usually the sign of someone doing steroids. Because most steroids are oil based. So they make you break out a lot. Maybe he just has acne. I don't know.
Max, I'm really, really worried about you. Because in all sincerity, I want nothing more. I wish for nothing more than being able to be here.
Well, if you're watching AEW right now, MJF's a lot bigger lately. Like a lot bigger. Yeah, but like on every one of my friends who does steroids, they get acne, pimples, whatever you want to call it, on the shoulder, and in on the back area. Uh-oh. Little the devil there. That's pretty good so far. I mean, listen, he might have acne, you know. I don't like it. Here comes Samoa Joe. For those of you watching, maybe I'll just do a live the first hour. I can't imagine people would want to watch me watch wrestling for 2 hours and then comment on it. I mean, I'm very familiar with steroid use just because when I was really into the bodybuilding scene in the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, he's got the acne on the back too. So I'd be blown away if he's not juicing. I'll assume AEW does not test.
Despite the fact that your other less adequate friend couldn't defend you.
That's a good I know. Maybe I should do a stream one night of me sleeping. Just to see. That would get my hours up. That'd be like 8 hours.
You went out there with one Samoa Joe. You defended the always tag team titles. And you started.
I mean, I'm blown away by what's popular on TikTok, YouTube. You know, I mean, I think my video is doing pretty good, the stand-up video, but you know, it's just frustrating to have a video of someone sleeping get as many views as me doing stand-up for 45 minutes. Well, I know. I think my problem on YouTube was my first video I ever posted was my throw-up scene in Benchwarmers, and it got 100,000 views. So I thought, oh, I'll just put out some of these every now and then. And I messed up. I should have just been consistent from that day on. But I was not. So you live and learn in this business. But I'm not, you know, bitter. I like to put in the work. Yeah. You know, I think I just saw the success of that video and I'll just put up anything. And a couple other videos got like 5 to 10,000 hits. And I also was on an awful network, a comedy network, where my first video, because I had some Asian girl with giant tits, I think got like 4 million views. So I'm like, oh man, this isn't that hard. But I wasn't as savvy to the business as I am now. So maybe next week the angle will be I will do the second hour of Dynamite. I don't know. Oh, a little CM Punk dig right there. I like that. Oh, wow. We might get MJF and Samoa Joe right now. I don't think Samoa Joe's on steroids. He's just a big boy. I mean, dude, as crazy as that, I mean, I know you're kind of kidding, Rebel, but that probably would work. If I just had some girl with giant tits right there. Who knows? Nothing would surprise me. If I just paid a girl, now when I start making money on this thing, I'll do stuff like this. I'll just pay some stripper $100 to just stand right there. She doesn't even have to talk. Just bend over and show her big jackhammers. I bet you that would quadruple the views. Until then, you just got to deal with me. That would work, Rebel.
You got yourself a deal, Samoa Joe. Wow,
So we got Samoa Joe. MJF is the, I'll assume it's the main event for the Long Island show in December. It's a good match.
That's about as bright as popping head from an alligator. But based on the way you're looking these days, I'd imagine you don't have many options.
Well,
I understand what this is, and I'm really great at picking backs, but you need to understand that if people don't touch my property unless I say so. So everywhere you go, I'll be a few steps behind. When you think that you're all alone, don't worry, I got your back, homie. And I'm going to deliver the very best.
That would be funny if, like, for select streams, I just had a big-titted stripper just doing something stupid every podcast or every stream. That would work. I'm telling you. But I'm back online. So the main event for World's End AEW Championship, Saturday, December 30th. MJF against Samoa Joe, a rematch. All right, so far it's a good Dynamite. It was a good promo with Adam Cole, MJF, and Samoa Joe setting up a match. You know, you could tell AEW, they're trying to be more cohesive with their storylines. The next match is Orange Cassidy and the Boys against whoever they're fighting in a trios match. Yeah. No, I had a friend. It's funny you say that. I had a friend of mine let's just say he used to sell and grow marijuana, and he hired a like a nude maid or a topless maid, and like 3 days later, she calls the guy acting like she wants to pork him, and he's such an idiot that he lets her in, and then like like they look like members of the Devil's Crew. Three ninjas basically robbed him, and he always had cash at the house too, and tons of weed. So he was a real pork chop. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm still playing around with the algorithms and stuff. So tonight we'll do the first hour, and then maybe next week. No, she didn't even bang them. Next week we'll do the second hour, and then if the numbers are like good around this time. I don't know if me watching, like I said, Dynamite for 2 hours is gonna pop anyone's boner, but I'm willing to try it, or I might just stick to Thursday night Dynamite reviews where we just go off into the ether of pro wrestling and then talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm an open book. I want to please the fans. I am here for your services. And, I'll probably be posting at least more stand up clips, because the video today's done quite well. And that's, it's a 45-minute set. So, that will get me quicker to the 3,000 hours and whatnot. I think the Iron Sheik is going to tweet about it later. You've arrived when a dead wrestler is a fan of yours still. I mean, my one friend, I won't say his name, but he made so much money as a grower that he had 3 houses. I don't know if he bought them or leased them. I think he might have leased them, all three in the Hollywood Hills in the same block. And each house kind of had he lived in one of them, but like he still had a growing operation. All three served varying functions, and I don't know a lot about the grow business. You have to basically have a greenhouse, and you have to worry about the cops. So it's funny that opened up my eyes to the world of pot and the business of cannabis. Now, this is before it was legal in California. Now it's no big deal, but you know, he showed me his grow room and the bigger of the 3 houses, and it was like unbelievable. Like full sprinkler system, manure system. The lighting was perfect, temperature controlled. I mean, and the other houses had similar type things, and then he basically, I think he still sells to dispensaries now. So that's where all the illegal growers went. I think they contacted the dispensaries and were like, "Hey, this is what I do. I can provide you a product for a nominal fee." Oh, I remember Percy Pringle. I mean, I was just watching a replay of the Dark Side of the Ring episode of World Class Championship Wrestling. Man, what a great era that was! You had the Von Erichs, Kamala, Colonel. I know Colonel De Beers. I think he was AWA. Yeah, the Ultimate Warrior, as the Dingo Warrior. I think the Undertaker was. I think he was known as Big Red back then. Um, and it was really, I think, where Magnum TA was NWA. So, but World Class Championship Wrestling was awesome. Some great, Gino Hernandez, Killer Brooks. I think Gary Hart was pretty much the main manager. Um, I think Abdullah the Butcher. You always had a couple guys. It sucked if you were like world class or well, really world class because a lot of guys would go there right before they made it. And then the second they made it, see ya. Thanks. Thanks for giving me the platform. Um, yeah, I mean, it was really a great time. I mean, you had what was it? What was Jim? I think Jim Cornette's thing was Mid South. So at one time, I think you had obviously WWE. You then had AWA in Minnesota. You had World Class Championship Wrestling in Texas. I think Mid South was Tennessee, Mississippi, that area. You had I think something with the C, Continental Wrestling or something in Florida, which is I believe where Hulk Hogan started. And then Vern Gagne stole him or whatever, took him, and then WWE stole him from Vern Gagne. So I love. I just finished reading my buddy Aaron Volpatti's book about he's a hockey player, and I'm going to start in on Nikita Koloff's book. All right, let's hold on. I'm behind on, so we're going to do the first hour tonight of Dynamites. All right, let's get. I'm speeding through the commercials so we don't hear the music. So we've got Shibata, Hook, and Orange Cassidy, and they are facing. Hook's got an announcement. I like that Will Ospreay shirt. Let's see what his announcement is.
I have a Thanksgiving surprise.
Uh-oh. A Thanksgiving surprise.
All right. Here's his announcement, I guess.
Danhausen. Well, maybe I guess Danhausen's not the devil. Or maybe he is. Interesting. Very nice, very nice, very, very, very nice. If he's here, this will be a big pop. Danhausen is back. I'm looking at his body type right now. And I would say he does fit the Devil's body type. So we've got Hook, Orange Cassidy, and Shibata against Cool Hand Ange, Angelo Parker, and the great Jake Hager, who I think is criminally unused. You always need a good big man. Crowd's hot for Danhausen, that's for sure. Danhausen got a very nice jacket on. Kind of looks like something Sting would wear. Now, the thing about Jake Hager is that he's a legit wrestler. I think he wrestled at Oklahoma. Like he was like undefeated or something. Like he's legit. 2-0 is I can tell those pants, Cool Hand Ange, they're not good leather because they're a little baggy. I mean, Jake Hager's pretty athletic, man. Rick Knox is the referee. It's funny, Jake Hager just looks like a bigger Orange Cassidy. All right, we've got a commercial here, so we got to speed through it so I don't get dinged on the music stuff. I think someone said you got 15 seconds before you got to turn it off. Now we got a Febreze commercial. So sorry, I hope the sound's not too annoying. But yes, fascinating time in the territories. And you also had stuff happening in Portland, obviously in Calgary. Oh, I heard it was 15 seconds, but I could be wrong. My intel could be wrong. I mean, I think someone has to report you. And I don't have that many trolls, but I probably have enough where someone would report me just to be a dick. But you know, that's cool. What are you gonna do? I remember hearing Cat Williams tell someone in the Comedy Store parking lot. He said, "If you have 9 haters, get a 10." Oh, okay. You know, I'm still a work in progress, guys, with these streams. Good match. Orange Cassidy just put the DDT on Parker. Crowd's pretty hot. Jake Hager just body slammed Orange Cassidy. That's got to hurt a little bit. Pretty hot crowd. Here comes Shibata. This should be good. Shibata almost died in the ring. I think he had like a brain seizure or something. So I don't really know if he should be wrestling, to be quite frank. But, you know, what do I know? I mean, the problem with Jake Hager now is he's been jobbing for pretty much since he's ever been in AEW. So I don't know how you could rehabilitate his character. It's really too bad. He's got the look, great body, you know, good-looking guy, but you know, he's never been the same since the WWE days of We the People. Shibata does a running drop kick on Jake Hager. But see, here's where AEW's problem is. Katsuyori Shibata, not enough Americans know who he is. So I don't think they realize what a big deal he's on Dynamite right now. Other than Owen Hart, has a wrestler died in the ring? No, I mean, New Jack, if you're familiar with the mass transit, Danhausen. Oh my God, this is pretty funny. That's funny, man. Jake Hager was about to powerbomb Shibata. And Jake Hager, Danhausen pulled out Jake Hager's purple hat. That's funny. Yeah, that's the mass transit incident. I forget the kid's name, but you know, the kid was kind of asking for it. For those of you, if you YouTube the mass transit incident, of course, YouTube it after my Comedy Store set. A 17-year-old Eric Coolius, I think, had gotten backstage and lied to ECW, saying, one, he was 18, and two, that he was trained by, I think, some old-time wrestler, Baron von Raschke, I think. And I think it was Balls Mahoney or Big Dick Dudley. One of those two had travel problems. So they needed for it was the black Devon Dudley. They needed a tag partner, and this guy was in a transit uniform. He was probably 6'3" or 6'4". We got an Adam Cole promo now, so and probably about 350 pounds. I mean, he was a fat slob. He looked like a taller Ralphie May, and then you did the cardinal. You know that comedy has cardinal rules. Like at the Comedy Store, if you're, say, a non-paid regular, you would never go up to a paid regular who's about to go on and go, "Hey, do you mind if I go on?" Because they're not passed at the Comedy Store. And that's one of the perks of being passed at the Comedy Store. Even if someone's famous, but they're not. Like Dane Cook, you think he's 100 times more famous than me. If he came to the Comedy Store and wanted to go on, I would still get to go on ahead of him because I'm a paid regular. And it would be just not cool for Dane to go, "Hey, Earl, do you mind if I go up?" Now, if I'm cool, I might go, "Yeah, you can go on, dude. Go ahead. Just don't run the light." And in the world of professional wrestling, what's not cool is to go up to a veteran in the locker room and suggest offense for yourself. So this kid walked up to New Jack, like you couldn't have picked a worse guy to do this with as well. And like, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. And apparently New Jack was like, okay, yeah, no problem, man. And then the kid did the second cardinal rule of professional wrestling you don't do. You never ask someone else to blade yourself. You always blade yourself. So if me and Jordan the Lion or me and Spurg are about to wrestle, I would never say, "Hey, Snake, can you cut me halfway through?" Because he might do it too hard. He might do it too light. He might, there's a million things that could go wrong. And he wouldn't ask me to blade him because I'm going to have the adrenaline flowing. I might go like that too hard. What they do is I saw well, I don't want to say, well, he probably doesn't care. The Body from XPW, at the last XPW show I was at, he had on, tape, like white tape on his wrist, like probably from there to there. And right before his match, he broke off a piece of a razor blade and stuck it in. And so, like at some point during the match, he's wrestling or whatever, and when the crowd's not really looking at him, or there's a second where he just goes like that, and then he's bleeding. I mean, there's that famous shot of CM Punk uh, in his last. It might have been his last AEW match where he gets hit and he goes under the ring, but somehow the camera guy was right there with him, and you just see CM Punk going like this. Um, so, but this kid had asked New Jack to cut him. So not only, because what he should have done is sat down next to New Jack and said, "Hey, man, I'm Eric. I'm gonna be Devon's tag partner. What do you want to do?" And New Jack would say, "Well, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna throw Devon out of the ring. We're gonna beat up on you. We're gonna kick you out of the ring. Then Devon's gonna come and save you. And then we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. If you want to get in a punch or kick, whatever, cool. But we're gonna get 90% of the offense. No problem." So in the match, I think I saw an interview with Devon where he said Mustafa, who was New Jack's tag team partner. I mean, I can't imagine a more violent tag team than legit. Like the Road Warriors were stiff. Ultimate Warrior was stiff, but they weren't necessarily violent. Like I don't think the Road Warriors or the Ultimate Warrior or Scott Steiner, Sid was known to be pretty stiff. I don't think they meant to hurt you. Like, I don't think they went into a match going, "We're going to fuck this guy up." I mean, outside of the one I think it was Mike Blackwell incident with Sid and Dan Spivey, where they were, Mike Blackwell and some other fat guy were, the Job tag team, and they were in Mike Blackwell's, I think, hometown, and so Mike Blackwell was like getting an offense on Dan Spivey and Sid, and like at one point he knocked Sid down, and it just didn't look good. And they started beating the shit out of him for real. Like they fucking were hammering this guy with real punches. And Teddy Long, who was the Skyscraper's manager, was like, "Kick his ass." Like I don't think he thought he was being picked up by the cameras. So to answer your question, William, long story short, about 3/4 into the match, New Jack apparently had a surgeon scalpel, which is probably twice as sharp as a straight blade razor. Like we've all gotten a hot shave, which feel great. I mean, when you get a hot shave, you literally don't have to shave for like 3 or 4 days because the blade is so fucking sharp. Well, a surgeon scalpel obviously is going to be a lot sharper, and he literally tried to scalp him, I think, and he's just gushing blood, and then as the point, this kid's 17 now. It's his fault because he lied and said he was 18. But as this kid's gushing blood, the New Jack like steps on his stomach on purpose, to walk over him. I think he hit him with a chair. The dad's trying to get into the ring. Uh, and then I think the kid committed suicide a few years later. So it's not technically he didn't die in the ring, but I think what had happened to him made him want to kill himself. And just to show you how hardcore New Jack is, one night I'm hosting a comedy show at the Lucky Strike Bowling Lanes. That's not a brag. Me and my girlfriend at the time, Gail, Lois's mom, we ran it. It was a pretty hot show. Like D'Elia would come there, Ian Bagg, a lot of TV comics because it was in a bowling alley, but it was in the private room. And New Jack was in the front row for the show. He stayed the whole show, and I was the host. As I got off stage, he grabbed me by the wrist, and he gets up, and like I was a lot taller than him, but he was definitely more like wider than I am. He's like, "You a funny motherfucker," and he headbutted me, and then he just walked off. Of course, I was at the New Jack match, the XPW at the Olympic Auditorium, where if you haven't seen it, just look up New Jack Vic Grimes uh, ladder match. No, it wasn't a ladder match. It was I don't know what it was, to be honest with you. They had a like a Tetris style setup of tables and a scaffold match. So they went up all the way up top, and New Jack was pissed at Vic Grimes because in their previous match, um, they had a stunt where they're jumping off. Like I think they were in a basketball gym, so they were jumping off what would be height wise like the top of the backboard. And I guess when Vic Grimes got up there with him, he's like, "Hey man, I don't want to do it, or I'm not into this spot anymore. Let's do something else." And New Jack's like, "Fuck it, we're doing it." And at that point, Vic Grimes, should have followed through, but he didn't. So New Jack pulled him like he thought they were going to jump at the same time and land like safely on each other. But Vic Grimes literally just drove New Jack's head into the hard, I think it was a cement or wood floor, and like New Jack got brain damage from that. So New Jack's revenge was he gets Vic Grimes up on the scaffold match, and I was there, and there was not that many people there, like 200 people or something. And my God, so they get up to the scaffold. And as they're climbing up, you can literally see the scaffold shaking. This was not well put together, to be honest with you. Um, and like they get up on top, and they're doing some power moves and punches, and it seemed like both were stalling. And then all of a sudden, New Jack takes out a real working taser and tases Vic Grimes, like for real, like it was not gimmick. And and Vic Grimes is like, "I can't feel my legs." And New Jack was like, "Don't worry, you won't need them." And he threw Vic Grimes. I mean, I was there. I mean, I don't. I mean, you'll see if you go on YouTube. I mean, it was a substantial distance from the top of this scaffold to, uh, you know, the ring, the mat, and once again, it's all tables piled on top of each other. And I think the premise of the spot originally was, one of us will land on the top table, and it'll literally will just, the tables below that table will just break our fall or break your fall. New Jack threw him purposely hard enough where he missed all the tables. So he literally, I mean, I'll say 200, 300 feet in the air. I mean, when you see it, you'll be able to know. And the only thing that saved him from literally not dying. Because he was like 300 pounds. So that's 300 pounds of dead weight falling at a pretty high rate of speed was his some part of his body hit the top rope and it kind of made him bounce up in the air and then fall down. But if he doesn't hit the top rope, he hits the cement. He's done. And you're right, William. New Jack did say I'd do it again if he was not remorseful. But the funny thing is, I've seen interviews with Vic Grimes where he was pretty casual about it. Like the only injury he had was a broken ankle. So you know, it was pretty nuts. All right, let's go through. We'll speed by the Adam Cole interview with Renee Paquette. It's a baby face. Oh, hold on. We'll actually. All right. It's Adam Cole being interviewed by Renee Paquette. Yeah. Here comes Adam Cole being interrupted by Roderick Strong and the Kingdom. I noticed that they made the taller guy in the Kingdom take off the shirt, punch him in the wiener, and then pile drive him. I was about to get that shirt. Now, here's the funny thing. My biggest takeaway from Full Gear, and there's some great matches, Swerve and Hangman, the ladder match with Big Bill, and Omega, the Golden Jets, I mean, MJF, Jay White, all great matches. But the crowd every 2 minutes was yelling, Adam! I want that shirt. So Roderick Strong is over right now in that regard. Hold on. I got a phone call coming. Hold on. Hello. Hello. All right. Adam Cole just told Roderick Strong, leave me the hell alone. Up next is the Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, Nick Wayne. They're doing a little promo. Will Ospreay. I can't wait. So many good matches for Ospreay. Now here's who's in the All In London 2 promo picture right now, just to give you an idea of who's hot in the company right now. You've got Adam Copeland, looking very much like the bad guy from Cobra. You've got Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, Hangman Page, Chris Jericho, Tony Storm at the top of the poster. Interesting. Swerve Strickland, John Moxley, Kenny Omega, Christian Cage, and newly added Will Ospreay. So the show is on TBS. I know I'm behind days. I'm trying to tell some of these stories, and I guess that would not be a live watching of Dynamite. So I'm trying to also cut through anything that has music in it. I don't want to get kicked off. All right, here comes. I'm about 7 minutes behind. This should be funny. I'm a fan of Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. A shout out to Nick Wayne for selling for Sting like he did. Luchasaurus was good as well. This was a good match to start off the pay-per-view. I know some people weren't into it, but I'm going to be quiet now and listen to this. Hopefully you're not bored by me just listening. Sorry, Jordan, I'm behind.
Chicago, you know the drill when I'm conducting business.
He's funny, man.
Now everybody knows a true champion is gracious in victory in humbling defeat. As you all know, this past Saturday at Full Gear.
For those of you watching, and maybe Jordan will know this, I see this guy in the front row at every show. His camera stage right, but Luchasaurus is left. He's in the referee shirt. I mean, this guy must be a fucking billionaire, man. He's front row for every show. Oh, okay. See, I get DirecTV, so I get it. I get it 5 p.m. my time.
Now I can stand here with my hand over my heart and tell you with all sincerity and honesty that I did not lose that match.
Now, the good thing about being a little bit behind is I'm sensing right now, just based on body language, that Luchasaurus is going to turn on Christian right now. Or Christian and Nick Wayne are going to turn on Luchasaurus, because I noticed Luchasaurus is standing a little far away from Christian. So let's see if my wrestling brain works for me.
Nick Wayne did not lose that match. Luchasaurus lost that match. Wow. And that's unacceptable to me. And I went home and I was thinking to myself, how do I get rid of this aura, this losing aura, this stench of losing? And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. That both of your lives have benefited and only gotten better since you've been associated with me. And since you're both my children, it's time that I recreate you both in my image.
He's out of his mind.
Luchasaurus.
Me neither, William. Uh-oh. See, I might be right.
Bizarre request from Christian Cage. It's got to be embarrassing for Luchasaurus.
I said take him in.
Remember, it was Christian that hit Luchasaurus with that TNT. Yes. That led to Christian losing. That led Luchasaurus losing the match.
I'm not sure what you're not understanding about this, you moron. Get down on a knee right now. Come on.
He just called Luchasaurus a moron.
The name Luchasaurus to me will forever be associated with being a loser. I thought long and hard about your name, and I came up with a name of strength.
Crowd's a little dead for this.
A name that means certain victory, a name that never means defeat, a name that has served me well throughout my career. You are my finisher. And this Saturday on Collision, you're going to have a chance to prove you deserve this moniker, because you will forever be known from here on out as Kill Switch.
All right. Luchasaurus' new name is Kill Switch.
I should say, granted a new name to Kill Switch. No hesitation. That's how you take correction without correction. No.
Taz, get on your feet. Nick, get on your feet. You don't ever get on your knees for another person. Do you understand me? You're different, Nick. You're special. You are the son that I've always wanted and now I have. You are my golden boy. I see things in you that I've never seen in another person. You are me. I love you, Nick. Nick, you are a golden boy. And you will forever be known as the Prodigy, Nick Wayne.
So Nick Wayne is now the Prodigy. All right, here comes Nick Wayne's mom.
Wait, that's Nick's mother.
Why is your mom?
She's pretty hot for an older lady. See, the numbers are going up, and I'm just watching TV. This is how wacky streams are.
Nick Shane is pleading with her son.
Oh, bro, just pull it out. Get out of here. All right, hold on. I'm putting up for you. What the hell are you doing here anyway? You are a terrible mother. Sure, listen. Maybe you love Nick unconditionally.
Maybe this is the secret.
Guess what? Loving your child unconditionally isn't good enough. You couldn't even provide for Nick.
A stream of me just watching television.
This kid is a prodigy. That was embarrassing for Nick. You think he wanted his mom to be a waitress? Look at me. I'm a legend. I'm a champion. I can give Nick the world and everything in it. You can give him anything. And
You might be onto something, William.
it's a good thing that your husband is dead already. Listen, because Nick would have disowned his father anyway, because he realizes that his father was never as good of a wrestler as I was. And not only that, his father, Buddy Wayne, and Nick knows this as well, was not near the man or the father that I am. So do me a favor, and you know what, Shane, it's really sad that it came to this because, you know, if you played your cards right, things could have been a little bit different. But that's a conversation for another day. So what I'd like to have right now is for you to get the hell out of my ring. Go punch your cards. I think your shift is about to start at Denny's. Get the hell out of my ring right now.
He told, hold on. He told Nick Wayne's mom, get out of the ring and start your shift at Denny's. That's pretty funny. All right, now Luchasaurus has sprung up into action.
Luchasaurus is kill switch feeding up. Roll that up on your knees.
I need to start. Get on your knees right now, kill switch.
I mean, I'm doing my best, Spurg. Thank you. Oh, we're seeing a Luchasaurus face turn, maybe. Oh, he just slapped, Christian Cage just slapped Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus is a scary looking dude.
Fans here in Chicago reminded me who's he Shane Wayne just collateral damage. He's trying to go to his mother. Go to your mother. What are you doing? Nick, go to your mother.
This is a good segment.
Look, I think my head hit that rope, man. What is he looking for? What is Nick? Oh, that can't be.
Nick Wayne's getting a chair out. He's not going to chair shot his own mom.
Wait a second, no. Is Nick Wayne? Is he just? Is he like? That's like what's going on here? Shane, someone needs to stop this. We need security. We need, for God's sake, stop this. Someone has to stop this now. Don't even shoot it. Yeah, don't shoot it. Exactly. Just.
Christian Cage about to give Nick Wayne's mom a chair shot.
Christian. This can't. This cannot be allowed to happen.
Now,
This is good. This is gone beyond
Very good segment so far. Oh shit! Here comes Edge. Edge coming in for the save. Oh, he just speared Nick Wayne. Just hit Luchasaurus. Now we have Christian and Edge in the ring. Edge hits a spear on Nick Wayne again. The Impaler. Nick Wayne's taking a beating in this segment. Uh-oh. Now Nick Wayne's going to get the chair treatment by Christian. I'll guess his mom will stop this. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. He just took a... This has been a tough segment for Nick Wayne, I'll tell you that much. Damn. Adam Copeland's pretty jacked for an older guy. He's probably younger than me. What up, Ross Incognito? We're just doing a live watch of AEW's Dynamite. Thank you guys in chat who've been retweeting and sharing and all that stuff. My 45-minute set from the Comedy Store. It's not a full special. It's just like a teaser. It's like a demo special, a prequel. All right, now we've got a segment with Anna Jay, Cool Hand Ange, Angelo Parker, and Jake Hager. We'll get right through this. Now we've got. All right, now we've got the second. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. I can stop now, and then next week we'll do the second hour of Dynamite, or we can just keep going. I just can't imagine people are into me doing a stream for 2 hours of me watching television. Thank you, Rebel. If you're on Twitter, okay, I'll keep going. You know, I'm a man of the people. You know, if you guys said, "Hey, this is fun, but it's a little boring," I would stop right now. So up next we have Jay White and the Gun Brothers, and I think Juice Robinson is there. The Bullet Club against Roosh. This should be a good match. Oh, I like the guy holding up a sign with his dog. This is Rambo. Oh, now Bryce Edwards, or Bryce, I forget. The guns have been ejected. My buddies Austin and Colton Gunn. This should be a good match. I'll assume assuming Mr. White will win. But they're kind of pushing Roosh. Should be a pretty violent match. I know. Well, I don't think he cared because I bought that jacket right before the picture. Trust me on that one. Let's see what's going on in the Twitter world. I can multitask. I'm getting better at doing 7 things at one time. Where can I get Woo energy drinks somewhere in LA? I'm not gonna order it. Two kind of different styles here with Roosh and Jay White. Roosh is a kind of an Arn Anderson type, and Jay White's more of a ring technician.
We'll get him only 1 point. There's 20-minute time limit, so that is only one match you can turn it in, but I mean that's something that both competitors need to keep in the back of their minds. As a target drop kick.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if it was in the store, if I have to order it, I'd have to order 12 cans, I think. So, I mean, it's important to make Jay White look good, because obviously that was a hard chop. Because it'll probably be a minute before he gets another title shot, so you got to still make him look good. I wouldn't mind seeing Jay White and Ospreay. I'm assuming they have history in Japan. Yeah, I mean, if anyone's going to have the Woo energy drink, it's going to be Vitamin Shop on Fairfax, and that's not a on the DL plug. They don't. I got to pay for everything. Yeah, I mean, it's Steeler. Been a big week for Steeler fans, with the firing of Matt Canada. I don't like anyone losing their job, but it just wasn't working out. I'm just a fan. But there was some very interesting analysis by fans and ex-NFL players on some of the play calling, and it's like, just I think I don't want to turn this into a football podcast, but we can. I mean, I'm not a Homer Steeler fan, but when you look at the Steelers, you've got George Pickens, arguably the best receiver in the league. The stats don't show, but he's very, very good. Deontay Johnson, he is a great receiver. Pat Freiermuth, outside of Kelsey, maybe the best pass-catching tight end out there. Najee Harris, very good out of the backfield catching. Hasn't quite translated his Alabama success. And then, Jalen Warren is like proving to be the new, not star, but the new running back, rushing running back on the Steelers. There's no way a team with all those weapons should be 6-4 with that defense. I mean, you don't have to put up 40 points a game to win. If you're Pittsburgh with that defense, you score 24 points a game, you should be good. But it'll be interesting to see who they get. I think most people think that it wasn't it's going to be Byron Leftwich. I'd be down with that. He's respected. I think it's always easier to just fast forwarding through the picture-in-picture shit. I think the players, Pickett included, will always respect someone who's done the gig they've done. And Leftwich was a pretty successful quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from there. I mean, I mean, I want Leftwich just because, like I said, he's he could tell Kenny Pickett, listen, when I played against this 46 defense, this is what I did. Marvin Lewis can't do that. He can show Kenny Pickett tape, but Byron Leftwich can stand next to him in practice and go, all right, well, when I was Brady's guy, this is what we did, blah, blah, blah. When I was Ben's backup, blah, blah, blah. When we played against Ray Lewis here, we did a curl route because blah, blah, blah. So, I think someone said Eric Bieniemy, but isn't he coaching somewhere? I mean, Eric Bieniemy was a running back at Alemany High when I was at Notre Dame High. So I've been hearing Eric Bieniemy's name for a very long time. It's a good match, by the way, though. They have good chemistry. Jay White must be really easy to work with because he had great chemistry with MJF and pretty much anyone he wrestles. And his chest is jacked up. So this is why I like AEW better. Because this is a fresh match to me. I've never seen these guys wrestle each other. So I'm very invested in the outcome. I mean, internet wrestling fans are like comedy wrestling fans. I'm waiting for someone to comment on my YouTube special. Oh, this comedy sucks. That's coming. I think it's because who else has that thing with Jericho's chest is who is the black wrestler in WWE? Kofi Kingston. He's got the same thing. So it might be from all the chops. Because let me tell you something. I took one chest chop from Rocky Romero on the last episode of the Comedy Store Wrestling Podcast. And I'm telling you, man, it fucking hurt. And he held off. And he apologized profusely after. He's just like, just be lucky it wasn't Will Ospreay doing it. Because he hits about twice as hard as I do with perfect technique. So, imagine Jericho and Kofi Kingston. I mean, especially Jericho. He's been wrestling for 30 years taking chops. So it's like muscle atrophy there. Even though these guys, I'm sure Jericho is still, I mean, Jericho looks great if you, I know it's a little weird to look at, but he's still pretty jacked. Paul Turner is the referee's name. I mean, I can't think of anything else. I mean, just the wear and tear. I would say your chest. I mean, look at Jay White's chest right now. It's blood red. I mean, I would say the toughest areas of damage for wrestlers are the back with all the slams and the chest with all the, if Swerve Strickland wasn't good at his finisher, he could really fuck you up. See, I don't know. I mean, Jericho might have the same condition, I don't know. Could I take a chop from Mark Henry? I'll guess no. But here's the thing. I think it's because Rocky was showing me how some people just do it like backhand, but I guess Ospreay turns his hand over, something like that. So I mean, I'm 55. So I mean, my chest looks pretty good. But I started lifting weights again, so you've seen that TikTok video I did where I got the 100-pound dumbbells up twice. I mean, but I also have started doing push-ups again. Push-ups are really, I was talking with this guy today at the gas station. He's 82 years old, He's the owner of the gas station, and he used to be like an Olympic boxer. And he's like, "That's all you need to do, bro, is push-ups." That's what Herschel Walker did. The urban legend, and Ron Lyle. Well, his book is over there. Ron Lyle, one of my favorite, probably my favorite heavyweight boxer. They say when he was in prison for murder. Now, I don't know if I believe this, but he certainly has the time that he did 1,000 push-ups a day. And if you looked at Ron Lyle, he had a very Herschel Walker type body. That's pretty good, William. I mean, I'm embarrassed. The other day I went to do a pull-up. I couldn't even do one. And I'm like in good shape with like the weights for the back. But I mean, I would say before the pandemic, I could do, I think, 35 pull-ups. Pretty good form. I mean, toward the end, you know, like say 26 to 35, I was cheating a little bit. But you know, I did 35. It's like when I used to bench press heavy for me, like 275 a couple times. My form was pretty wonky. All right, still to come, John Moxley and Mark Briscoe. I'm assuming that's going to be basically a squash match. We got, here's my good buddy RJ City. Well, I have to watch this segment. It's respect. And I have to take a picture of it as well. I'm multitasking.
Okay, we are here to present the AEW Women's World.
I love me some RJ City. Renee Paquette's showing some a little cleavage there.
Well said. Well, without any further ado, and the AEW Women's World Championship goes to. It's exciting, isn't it? Timeless Tony Storm.
All right, we got a Timeless Tony Storm segment coming up, so I can't watch this. Although that girl Mariah May, she looks pretty good. Looks a little bit like Bret Michaels. Yeah, I mean, I'm 55. I mean, in my heyday, I would say in the mid 90s, I was squatting. I think it was 595. Now, my form wasn't the greatest, but they were deep parallel squats. And here's the crazy thing. Now, I know this now. I didn't know this then. In 91, I tore my ACL. But it was horribly misdiagnosed, like horribly misdiagnosed. So you know, the fact that I was squatting 595 with no ACL in my right leg, naturally, I've never taken anything. I mean, outside like creatine and stuff, but and you know, my bench press, I have really long arms, as you can tell. It looks like I'm doing the Nazi salute, so now it looks like I'm doing the white power salute. But I have long arms, just take my word. So that's why you never see like really tall people have great bench presses. You know, usually the best bench presses are guys like Tank Abbott. I mean, it's an excuse to a degree, but I think the most I ever did was I think I put up 305 once, but my form was so fucking wonky. I'm not gonna lie to you. If this was a bench pressing competition, that rep wouldn't have counted. I mean, I got it. It hit my chest, and I did it with no spotter because I'm telling you, man, it's risky to do it that way. But when you have no spotter and you find the strength to put up that fucking dumbbell or the barbell. I was at where was I at? It's weird how you can remember the craziest things. I was at the 24-hour fitness in Garden Grove in between hockey games, and I had a good game, so I had some extra adrenaline. So I'm like, I'm going to go bench press for a bit. And, I don't think I could bench right now, even though, I've been taking yoga the last 7 years with no weights. I don't know if I could bench press 225 right now. Maybe on the decline, because that's always been a little easier for me. I could probably do 225 once. My heyday on the decline bench, I could do 225 12 times. On the regular bench, 5 to 6. On the upper bench or the incline, 3 to 5. So, have I ever thought of writing a book? Not really. I have lived an interesting life, that's for sure. But, right now, all my efforts going into the comedy special, which is why I released what I did today, just as because I've been talking about this special and what I've been filming the documentary for almost 2 years now. So I'm like, I want to show people I'm at least competent at the craft. I heard you were diagnosed by someone at Studs. How's Gabriel at Smooth Cheeks these days? I don't know. I don't go to him anymore because I do it myself. I bought where's the Venus razor for women, and so I do it myself. And I don't think I'm doing it the right way because my dick is a 5 o'clock shadow now. Hello. Since you guys are nice enough to be here and chat with me, I think I lied, or I think I said that I would do at least like one joke in chat for you guys since you guys are with me. Let me see. Hey, do you think Jews like the game $25,000 pyramid just on instinct? Hello. Give you a second one. Snoop Dogg says he's giving up weed, which is like Tommy Lee saying he's giving up pussy. Don't bet on either. Yeah, it's jokes in progress. I don't mind the, and there's another, I think it's the Dollar Shave Club. They came out with a razor for men to shave down there. I never really liked the, was it the Manscaped? It never seemed to work for me. So, it worked a little bit, but I don't know. I'd rather, but I know the problem with doing it with the razor is you make the hair grow back faster and shit. So you just got to be on top of it. All right, let's see if this Tony Storm segment's over. No, it is. Thank God. All right, now we've got Sky Blue. Boy, someone really likes Sky Blue. She's in every episode. Lois is with her mommy, Gail. I get her back for December when Gail goes home to back east. So we've got Sky Blue against Ruby Soho. I think Saraya is coming out for support. Saraya was nice to me at the Ric Flair roast. Now, lately they've been having Ruby Soho lose a lot. So Ruby Soho against Anna Jay and Sky Blue. We've got the African American referee. I don't know. I don't really care who wins this match. Me and Gail are very cool. We switch Lois out whenever. We've got this new angle where Ruby Soho is flirting with Cool Hand Ange. No one has taken a dump on the sidewalk since that evening. I do like Sky Blue's hair. Pretty thick woman. You really see how much of a star Julia Hart is, because none of these girls are on her level. Yeah, I do like that song. Whoa, Destination Ruby Soho. And they got to kind of redo Ruby. I'm assuming at one point Ruby Soho and Saraya will turn on each other. That could be interesting. I mean, people keep asking me what are my top choices for the Devil. Say my top choices for the Devil. Well, they were Danhausen. I thought, well, he is slender in build, but he came back tonight, so I don't think they would reveal him as the Devil. But the Devil was also on camera tonight, so maybe still. Adam Cole was in the building again, so maybe the Devil is Adam Cole. I noticed they've had Britt Baker off of television for a bit, so maybe she's the Devil. Although they did have the Devil laugh tonight, it was kind of a manly laugh. And I'm guessing it was Ziggler and Riddle and Mustafa Ali. Their 90-day compete clauses, I think, are up in mid-December, so that would free them to reveal the Devil on the pay-per-view in Long Island at the end of the month, December, that is. Well, here's the problem. It could be CM Punk. I mean, I don't know how you bring that guy back in the locker room, to be honest with you. But,
This guy, customize and save with Liberty Vision.
I don't think WWE, they announced Randy Orton would be,
Only pay for what you need.
was it Survivor Series or SummerSlam? Yeah, I mean, it could be Jack Perry. Could be Ziggler, Riddle, or Mustafa Ali, although I wouldn't count on it being Mustafa Ali because he's not a big enough name, I think. And then I had someone tell me that maybe it's Kyle O'Reilly, but I don't. It's got to be kind of an A-lister. But I could see Kyle O'Reilly being one of the helpers. Maybe Bobby Fish comes back and they're the Devil's helpers. I mean, that would be amazing if it were Vince or Shane McMahon or Stephanie. I heard it's Amy Schumer. I think it's Chuck Schumer. Hello. I almost don't want to see the last match. I mean, Moxley's going to win. That's what I don't like in the AEW is they do have some matches where you know the outcome is going to be what it is. I mean, that was kind of cool when Action Andretti beat Jericho. You thought, no way Jericho is going to lose, but man, they're really pumping this Rexulti commercial. My feet hurt. I have stiff muscles, and I do have confusion. We got 15 more minutes, guys. So that Moxley match is going to be about 8 minutes. Yeah, Miro, that's a guy who I thought could have been, I think he lives in the Valley, so, they kind of dropped the ball on that. I'm assuming at some point Miro and Daniel Garcia will have a rematch again. Maybe Miro and Andrade, because CJ Perry's managing Andrade now. I mean, even with Collision now, 5 hours of TV programming, there's still not enough TV programming to get in all these guys in their spots. But the problem is also with AEW that the matches are longer. Like Omega's going to wrestle 15, 20 minutes. Where in the WWE, he'd wrestle 8 to 10. But, Rampage is this Saturday, special night and time. Collision and Rampage are on Saturdays. I mean, they might be doing that. Save some money. Which I get it. I mean, the only thing that sucks about Dynamite and Rampage usually being filmed in the same night is that it's the same crowd. So the crowd's dead for Rampage. And usually Rampage has like the B team on. So, we'll see what happens. And what about Powerhouse Hobbs?
Nothing to figure out, guys. I mean, there's apparent what's going on here. Well, Anna and Ruby are battling it out. Scott left time across body. Rolls off both opponents.
I mean, I get it. I mean, AEW doesn't have the money WWE does. So, it's a pretty weak code blue by Anna Jay on Sky Blue. Ruby Soho with the save. I mean, it's not a horrible match. It's just Daddy Magic holding on to Ruby Soho's leg. I mean, the best part of this match is Cool Hand Ange and Ruby Soho. I mean, it really depends, Ross. I mean, someone like Kenny Omega, he's making good money. Jericho's making good money. I would say Saraya probably makes good money. I mean, someone like Daddy Magic, I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, their just income's not as big as WWE, so someone like Sky Blue, maybe $100,000. Well, I like those two. I forget their names right now, but the Jobber tag team that's in AEW right now. They're like an 80s based tag team. They're pretty funny. All right, we have one more. Oh, we got Wardlow. There's a Wardlow promo.
Listen, you've been back in AEW for several weeks now, and you've made it.
The big boy.
Your sights are set on MJF.
But see, unlike MJF, I don't see any acne on him.
The downfall of the devil is going to happen on my time. And that time. I see what you're doing here. Putting the blame on it.
All right, Wardlow's being interrupted by AR Fox. Who I like. He's another guy. It's just there's no TV time for him. Like, what are you gonna do? But I mean, I'm guessing Ross. Like, I'll guess someone like Cody Rhodes in AEW. Well, he was a co-founder of the company. Probably making $500,000 a year, whereas in WWE he's probably making a few million. So just you can just tell by the way AEW does things. Like they don't have the bankroll that WWE does. Like their merch sales, like this will probably make me a little behind, but we can speed through some of this. Like I was shocked at the merch stands at Full Gear. Like you'd think Sting's last match in um, Los Angeles, the WWE would have had at least 5 different Sting shirts and 1 or 2 with Los Angeles last ride or something, some saying. And, they didn't have one. They had these gloves, which are pretty cool. We'll do the OJ fit. If they don't fit, you must have quit. But they kind of fit perfectly. I mean, look at that. The perfect fit. See, I could kill someone. Ah! These are $25. Probably cost literally $2 to $3 to make, so that's a nice profit margin. They had a cool shirt that I got, an MJF inspired shirt that said, yes, good luck, Rebel. Thank you for the retweet on Twitter. It was in the shirt was in Lakers colors, so that'll be, I think, an LA based only show shirt. They also had a cool Scissor Me shirt that just had scissors above the Hollywood sign. So that they're just a little behind WWE and everything, and advertising and promoting the production. But they've also only been around for 5 years now. WWE's been around for literally 50. So I get it. All right, let's see what the rest of this promo with AR Fox and Wardlow is.
Else. And I get it. I was just doing the same with Darby. Listen, man. I don't need advice from anyone.
They just headbutted AR Fox. All right. That had to hurt a little bit. All right, so here we are at the last match of the night. We've done it, a 2-hour live watch of Dynamite. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Mark Briscoe against Jon Moxley. We might have to speed through this a little bit. All right. I mean, it's so far it's a typical Moxley match. I'm assuming he'll bleed. Stagwar, boing, 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 boing. That's for the fans. I will say, I do think Moxley I met him at the Ric Flair roast. He was there on the weekend. On a Friday night. He was doing a New Japan match on Friday night in the convention hall. And I was backstage with the New Japan wrestlers. And they were all coming up to Moxley, obviously huge fans. So I thought that was very cool. And you could tell he was probably tired. On Collision, we got Eddie Kingston versus Brody King, Daniel Garcia against Claudio, some more Continental Classic matches. Jabbar, what up? Bugging out. We're just about to end the stream, Jabbar. We're doing a live watch of AEW Dynamite. Sorry you got here late to the party, but you can watch the stream. Yeah, he actually, he's got an nice neck breaker by Mark Briscoe on Moxley. I think he's got a reputation that he's really like his wrestling character, but I was specifically watching him interact with the younger wrestlers, and he was really nice to all of them, and I found him to be, like you could tell he enjoyed being a mentor to these guys. I mean, he's a guy who has stood up to the WWE and their higher brass. Flair was great. He was hammered the whole weekend, but that's not really a surprise. And Probably the funniest inside story I can tell you is about an hour before the match, Jay Lethal came up to me. He's like, man, Rick just told me he's not afraid to die in the ring. So I'm like, bro, you got this. And Jarrett, Andrade, Karen Jarrett, and Lethal, they carried Flair to a passable final match. All right, we got a little picture-in-picture here. We'll just pause that for a second. Yeah, hit that like button. But more importantly, tonight, go on my Twitter. We'll get the plugs in now. I'm very easy to follow. EARLSKAKEL on all social media. One word, Earl Skakel. Go to Twitter, and there's several people who posted. There's my pinned post plugging my, it's not my special, but it's just a 45-minute set at the Comedy Store. And, you know, the more eyes that get on it, the better for me, and better time slots I get. And, you know, Hollywood, like I'm going to a house party tomorrow for Thanksgiving, that the most high-level party I've ever been to in my life. I mean, A-list managers, A-list agents. And if for some lucky reason that the YouTube video takes off, they would say, hey, Earl, why don't we talk? You know, play the game. But they have to see value in you. Everyone thinks I'm funny, but that doesn't make anyone money. I mean, it should, but that's just not how the business works. I love Sid Vicious. Well, I mean, look at this, baby. And come on. It's, Sid Vicious SummerSlam ref. So, all right, let's see if this is happening. All right. We got a Clorox commercial. All right. Oh, Mark Briscoe is bleeding. That's a surprise. Now, if you were to go to Vegas and say, who's going to bleed first, Mark Briscoe or John Moxley, I definitely would have said Moxley. Briscoe is bleeding heavily. By the way, the craziest thing I've ever seen was that Hangman Page drinking Swerve Strickland's blood at Full Gear. Yeah, I'm a big Sid fan. And he has some of the best shoot interviews. He's very calm, very, you know, doesn't really talk shit. I think my favorite Sid promo absolutely was the first time he joined the Horsemen, his debut in the Horsemen, actually, where he cuts a promo on RoboCop. He's like, RoboCop, I'm 6'9", 320 pounds, and I am the real man of steel in the NWA. You better learn to like it. And then about 2 minutes later, a really coked up Flair's like, this man is 6'10", 350 pounds, and the camera kind of cuts to Sid's face, and he looks completely confused that Ric Flair just put an inch and 30 pounds on. And I know Sid's tenure in the Four Horsemen was not met with a lot of favoritism by the fans, but you know, when your first promo is against fucking RoboCop, like, you know, you're kind of, you know, it's tough. Mark Briscoe bleeding a lot. Would be a nice upset if he won. Oh, got him in the arm breaker, almost a crucifix style move. Briscoe puts his foot on the bottom rope. Wait a minute. Did you just mention RoboCop? Move it, creep. Well, I fucked up. I took the doll out of the box, and apparently this is like a doll that's worth a couple $1,000s. I bought it at Meltdown, which was a big comic store in on Sunset that shut down. Yeah, well, a couple thousand in the box, but now that it's out of the box, and I think I still have the box, we might have an upset here. It's probably worth a few hundred. I don't have a Nancy Allen action figure. I want the black guy, the police sergeant's action figure. Robert something was his name. He was the only person to be in all 3 RoboCops. I think they have a RoboCop video game. Mike Black, the Comedy Store comic, he told me the video game for Predator is actually quite good. Unfortunately for me, they only make it for PlayStation 4. All right, Mark Briscoe got the Death Rider. Oh, I mean, this would be fun to see Mark Briscoe win. You gotta be a little surprised every now and then. I know. Patty Please is still around, and sadly, I think she's still doing escort work. Or I'm sorry, modeling. Come on now. Thank you. I think he's out of the chat room, but Rebel the Uncanny just retweeted my YouTube set from the Comedy Store. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Well, I don't know if they'll come out with a Predator game for PS5. It's probably not that popular. Yeah, apparently they made a Predator game for early PlayStations. And hello, oh, you did a Dalia joke there. See, I like that. That's funny. I used to talk to Chris during the pandemic. I was actually supposed to go to his house and look at his podcast setup, but you know, I had to you know, nix that. I'm too close to the bone. Axl Rose getting sued for sexual assault. 1989, though. That's going to be tough to prove. Well, I mean, I don't feel bad for him if he did it. You know. But I think all sides should be heard. I think I said this last week. You know, I had an ex-girlfriend told people I threw her down a flight of stairs, and you know, it just didn't happen. Like, that's my story. I'm not calling her a crazy bitch or like anything like that. But you know, and people have come to me, but they all, literally every single person said, Earl, we know you. We knew it wasn't true. But still, you know, all it takes is for one person to believe it. One person tweets out, and then, you know, I had a buddy of mine accused of rape, and it was tweeted out and all that, and it got a little traction because a couple big name comics retweeted it. And I think he took that girl to court, and he said he was so frustrated at one point that he wished he had done it because everyone thought he did it. So luckily that didn't happen to me, but so in regards to Dalia, Ross, all those guys, their side should be heard too. And if they did it, fuck them. And if they didn't do it, the accusers who falsely accused them should be sued. But the problem is, well, I mean, all right, that was so this concludes the AEW portion of pretty good show. I mean, I'll give it a B plus. It wasn't great, it wasn't bad. So, it will end on an unpleasant note of accusations and whatnot. But, like I said, everyone should be heard. The accused, the accusers, um, and then you make your own decision based on any Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't think I could watch that right now. I mean, I could do a movie, a watch movie, but I don't know if there's music in the movie. I'd have to like speed through it, and I don't know. Like with this, there wasn't that much music I had to speed through. Although I guess the Wild Thing playing in the background, I mean, that could, I don't know, get me flagged, I guess. But you hear both sides, and then you look for any what was it, periphery evidence that proves guilt or innocence towards either side, and you make your own decision. Predator 2, it just wasn't as good of a cast. I think Schwarzenegger was negotiating to get in it, but he wanted too much money, and that first Predator movie was such an amazing cast. I mean, it was just, and the first guy to get killed, the guy with the glasses, that was Shane Black, the writer of not just Predator but Lethal Weapon. I think all the Lethal Weapons. And I told this story before, but if there's anyone new in chat, I went to a party at Shane Black's house, and he has a nightclub in his, I don't know if he lives in the same house now, but he had a full functioning nightclub. And he was pretty drunk, and I just walked up to him and go, "Hey man, can I do an impression of the Indian from Predator? It's spot on." He's like, "No." So I did it anyway, and he laughed. I mean, I don't know. That first cast was so good. Well, I thought you meant the Kiss song "Bang Bang You." There's some great lyrics in that. Bang bang you, I'll shoot you down with my love gun, baby. Bang bang you. Well, my love is like a cannonball. I'm taking aim and you're gonna fall. If love's a crime, I gotta. I forget. It's been a hot minute since I've heard "Bang Bang You." I should try to get Shane Black on the podcast. See if he would remember me. Probably doesn't. Yeah, I mean, there was a good opening shootout in Predator 2. I mean, I'll just never forget the billboards were great for that because my bank, if you're an LA person, you'll know where this is. If not, I'm sorry. Yeah, Kit Capshaw was hot back in the day for sure. My bank was on Pico and Overland, and that's west of 20th Century Fox, who made Predator and Predator 2, and I think most of the sequels and prequels and all that shit. And they had a great billboard right over my bank building with the Predator's face, and it says, "Predator in town for a few days to kill." And I have not watched that yet, but I will. So, in theory, like, okay, you've seen the Predator in the jungle. Now it's going to be in Los Angeles. Like it should have been. It just didn't grab me. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Predator 2 all the way through because it just doesn't hold me. Now, like, I saw it all the way through in the theater, but, like, when it's on like, when Predator's on, I'll stop whatever I'm watching, and I've seen the movie literally hundreds of times, and it's still, like, I still get excited and whatnot at the scenes and, laugh at some of the funnier scenes. Predator, 2, just I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. So, I know, LA looks like well, here's the funny thing is I was watching a documentary on RoboCop, and I guess, Detroit was such a shithole. Like, really, the movie's point was made. They had to film most of RoboCop in Dallas. So that building at the end where the Omni Corporation is actually some really nice building in Dallas. Oh, I can remember where I saw Predator. I saw Predator on a Friday night. I think it was the opening night at the Avco Theater in Westwood, and that was where all the big movies would play, like Star Wars and shit like that. Um, Risky Business, and um, my sister at the time was an assistant for Carl Weathers. So this is 1987, 88, and I think she had just graduated Stanford, and she worked at a big Hollywood agency. And remember, she came home one night. It's like, Earl, you got this new movie Carl's doing. It sounds wild. I'm like, well, what's it about? Well, it's something like there's a SEAL team or whatever she's. I don't think she said SEAL team, but there's a military group of big, huge dudes, and they're in the jungle, and there's an invisible alien, and you don't see the alien until like 80% of the movie's over, and I'm like, wow, this movie sucks. And now it's probably like my favorite movie of all time. There you go. She might have quit. I know she was working with him through all of Predator, and then I think because I have two brothers, two sisters. I'm the baby, um, and the sister that worked for Carl Weathers, she graduated it with John Elway from Stanford, and she was like second in her class. Like she's incredibly, incredibly smart. Yeah, I mean, Kevin Peter Hall was great. I mean, in theory, you did need someone, and that was a huge cast. I mean, Jesse Ventura was probably 6'4" at that time, 6'4", 250. Obviously Schwarzenegger's jacked. Carl Weathers is jacked. I mean, Sonny Landham wasn't like necessarily overly muscular, but he was probably like 6'3", 230, 240. I mean, Shane Black's not a small guy, but he certainly wasn't muscular. Richard Chavez, he was probably the smallest of the cast, but you did need someone who was physically imposing. It's like when me and Chad Zumock, the most controversial man in the Dabbleverse, when we had Vernon Wells from Commando on, and he told me something in that interview I'd never heard before, that he basically replaced someone as the bad guy in Commando, because I guess the guy was too skinny, and like he was like tall and lean, and although Vernon Wells isn't like muscular, he's not like he looks like he's strong. So the fight scenes with Schwarzenegger were pretty believable. So that is it, guys. Thank you very much for listening. I'll wait for your feedback. Would you rather do a 2-hour live watch of Dynamite, or would you rather me just review it the next day? You don't have to tell me right now. Marinate on it. And thank you guys for retweeting and sharing I want to catch myself because it's not a special, but the prequel to the special. Let's call it that, a prequel. And I appreciate it. I've gotten a lot of good feedback, and one pretty big manager was like, "Hey, man, I saw it. Good work." So, well, I mean, I can do both, to be honest with you. I mean, as long as the TV in the background isn't distracting to you guys, maybe I won't do it every week, but like, it's fun to watch live. Although, when I pause it to talk about like the New Jack story, I realize that then I'm behind for some of you. like Jordan was watching it live. I was probably 7 minutes behind Jordan, so he's got to kind of bite his lip. That would be funny, a Cobra watch along. But I can't imagine that would be fun. I mean, I guess I could do just side commentary throughout the movie. So maybe we'll do watch alongs, maybe a Predator watch along, and maybe a Cobra watch along. You might be onto something. So I'm not sure if I'm going to review Rampage and Collision this week. If I don't, I'll do a Cobra watch along this week. I think it's on Amazon right now, and we can discuss it. And I'm just trying to figure it out, the algorithm. I mean, none of my streams are like incredibly popular. Hopefully, the stand up, a lot of people are retweeting it and sharing it. So I think that will probably be popular. I know on Instagram, people are sharing it in their stories, and it's very, the feedback has been great. My one friend just messaged me, and he's kind of a snob. He's like, dude, that was really good. So, yeah, I know. And I know right now, even though I'm being consistent with doing them, I'm all over the map time-wise, so I get it. So, good night, you guys. Thank you again for everything. I really do. It's a tough business to make it on your own. It's impossible. So I do appreciate all the help. You know, I try and ask for the minimum. Like I figure, retweet's not that hard to do. Um, and when I can promise you, when I get to the super chat level, I know. Tracy, I hope you're feeling better. Tell her that, Nick. But I can promise you when I get to the super chat level, I'm not going to be begging for money. I'll read, all the questions I can, and when I get to the super chat level, it's going to be not online panhandling. It's going to be like, hey, if you think I'm funny, if I've given you content for the last 23 years or however long you've been a fan of mine, you want to pay me for my time, I'm not going to refuse the money, but it's not a donation. Um, so just keep that in mind. Yes, I mean, like I said, Pooter, before I leave, what I released today on YouTube, some people are mistakenly calling it a special. It was literally filmed with one camera, not even straight on, but to the side. And the audience wasn't mic'd, but it still sounded good. And so I'm proud of it. This, and a lot of this, not a lot, but some of the jokes you heard on the prequel will be told on the special. It's just we're trying to lock down a venue for January. I have a specific venue in mind just because of the way the room is set up. It's I don't want to give away what it is because then some will snake me on the venue. That's how it works. But it will be and we've already filmed about, I would say we have 30 hours of usable footage for the documentary of why I don't have a special. So yeah, but the Viper Room, there's poles in the middle of the room. It's not a good layout for a stand-up special. Size-wise, it's a good room. I could fill it, but it's not a great layout. I mean, the stage is nice, and obviously the sound system is good, but the layout's kind of wonky. I think there's like 3 or 4 poles right in the middle of the room. No, it's not the Gay Cowboy Bar. Flaming Saddles, rest in peace. They are out of a business, but it is a very cool store and a very cool location. They do have a performance area in the back. I don't want to give away too much, um, but I hope you guys stick around for that. Um, and that's the way you got to do it these days. Can't cry and bitch and moan about the business and certain people getting shit. You just got to make your own shit, and hopefully people dig it. I mean, Matt Rife is the hottest comic in the country, but for the last 5 years, he couldn't get booked anywhere. He just literally did the Laugh Factory with his buddy. They did their own show there, and so he's almost inspired me to be like, hey, you can struggle for a while in this business, and now you're on Netflix, and he could play any room he wants in the country. No, I was not. I don't, flaming. Flaming is a word they use in the I guess the gay world. If someone's really gay, they're like, he's flaming. So it's probably a takeoff on Blazing Saddles, but it's a big. I think I've said this before. It used to be Larrabee Sound Studios, which I think they still have the soundboard just for historical facts. But like Ozzy did, I think Ultimate Sin there with Jakey Lee. It's rumored that Prince did some parts of Purple Rain there. So it's not a historical building, but in the music world, it is. So I love you guys. Earl Skakel over and out.